relationships. Social media is changing the way companies manage employees. This presentation will provide best practices on how to manage company and employee relationships as it relates to social media. Former Secretary General of Civicus, Ingrid Srinath, once said, "You are a brand whether you like it or not. You're going to leave some impression in a person's mind. It's your choice whether you want to actively manage that impression or whether you want them to come to their own conclusions of what they think about you." The problem is that social media can't be controlled. For example, in 2012, McDonald's had a Twitter-promoted campaign called #McDStories. Instead of posting positive experiences from visiting McDonald's, many Twitter users decided to post their horror stories at the fast food chain. In essence, McDonald's paid to promote a trend that showered the company in bad publicity. In 2014, Urban Outfitters was charged with exploring the outer reaches of bad taste after selling what seemed to be a faux blood-splattered vintage Kent State sweatshirt for $129. The sweatshirt was widely interpreted as a reference to 1970s Kent State massacre, in which 4 unarmed students were shot and killed by the Ohio National Guard during a Vietnam War protest. Many people took to social media to call out Urban Outfitters as being insensitive. Smucker's got a lot of flack last year for its stance against labeling genetically modified organisms, and a lot of people turned to its Facebook page to complain. In response, Smucker's tried to take control of the situation by deleting the comments and only made the situation far worse. A possible solution could be to think of social media as an employee, manage it with transparency, honesty, and forward thinking. Consumers are looking for a company's social media accounts to be smart and funny. They want accounts that are good conversationalists, but will also listen to their needs. Essentially, your target audience is looking for your social channel to bring value to their lives in some way. These are similar to the qualities companies are looking for in their employees. Social media has changed the way we do business. In practical terms, it means that forward-thinking organizations understand the value in shifting from traditional engagement to progressive models by having open channels of communication, genuine transparency, and meaningful connections. Social media mistakes can and do happen to good companies, but by incorporating strict social media policies, a company can potentially take control of its online reputation. Here are 5 things to learn from social media mistakes. Show the human side to your business. People want to see the personality behind your brand. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to social media. Humor, used well, can diffuse a situation that can potentially get out of control. Even the best social media plans cannot prevent human error. So just roll with it and hope your target audience does too. Monitor your online reputation so you know what is being said about your company online. And create a social media policy and guidelines for employees so that they are aware what they can't do in regards to social networking. No company is exempt from making mistakes, but how you deal with the backlash via social media will be your defining moment with customers. Successful organizations have embodied progressive communication by categorizing its social media into several buckets. For example, at Pizza Hut can be categorized in the entertaining bucket because Pizza Hut isn't afraid to use its Twitter account to retweet user jokes and humanize the brand. Sample tweets have been, "Bye week, hi pizza." Zappos can be categorized in the rewarding social media bucket because it engages its audience to join them in like-like relationships. Liking them on Facebook means you get access to exclusive content. And JetBlue can be categorized in the good customer service bucket because it responds promptly to customer questions and concerns, and the account is used to keep customers up to date on traveling conditions. But why is this important? It's important because as of January 2014, 74% of online adults use social networking. Social media is quickly moving from an emerging form of communication to the mainstream. So just like in the old days when companies had to figure out how to deal with email, now they have to figure out how to deal with Facebook and all other social media venues. Therefore, companies have to be prepared with a strong social media policy. Why have such a policy? Because employers need to be upfront with their employees on what they consider acceptable social networking policies. What can social media do for an organization? A policy should be aligned with the company's value and in turn can strengthen the brand through legitimate practices. Who should the policy cover? The policy should cover everyone because media is for everyone. A social media policy has a customer service component. So just as an organization has to manage its phone or email etiquette, it also has to manage its social media etiquette. Where should you let employees know about this policy? Everywhere. You need to let employees know about the policy everywhere and you need to train them accordingly. A great example of this is Zappos. They encourage all of their employees to have Twitter accounts so that they can interact with current and potential customers. They then train their employees in the proper use of Twitter during new hire orientation. When is the right time to implement a policy? Now. The time to think about drafting a social media policy is now. Twitter is growing at a phenomenal rate every year, and this is just one of many social networking applications in the market. Companies are using social media tools to establish value in terms of marketing and branding. So it's time for companies to start thinking about social media in the same context as all other forms of communication. Tips for a successful social media policy. You should introduce the purpose of social media, be responsible for what you write, be authentic, consider your audience, exercise good judgment. You should understand the concept of community. The essence of community is the idea that it exists so that you can support others and they in turn can support you. Respect copyrights and fair use. Remember to protect confidential and proprietary information. Bring value. Social media will more likely pay dividends for you if you add value to your followers, readers, fans, and users. And lastly, remember that productivity matters. Remember that in order for your social media endeavors to be successful, you need to find the right balance between social media and other work. Strong takeaways from this presentation can be, you are a brand whether you like it or not. Social media can't be controlled, only monitored. Learn from mistakes and improve based on your company's values. Develop a social media policy now. Share with your employees now. And train employees to use policy, leverage the benefits, and proactively create a positive social media presence. Thank you. Questions?